Middle English period. The Norman conquest of 1066 vitally affected English literature. It broke down the antique English grammar, which was already showing signs of disintegration, and flooded the ancient diction with a new and powerful vocabulary. This change did not take effect all at once. At first, immediately after conquest, it appeared likely that Old English, as a written and spoken medium, would disappear entirely and French would take its place. In the end, the great mass of the English people remained loyal to their ancient tongue. Gradually English, in its new and livelier form, reappeared. The Norman Conquest. Geographically situated between France and England, Normandy became a powerful dukedom in the Middle Ages. It derived its name from the bands of Northmen who had settled there in the 9th and the 10th centuries. These Northmen had soon established a powerful territory which later came to be known as Normandy. The people living there adopted the language and culture of France, under which it politically fell, but it soon became powerful on its own. At the beginning of the 11th century, the relations between England and Normandy were good because Ethelred the Unsteady, King of England, had married a Norman wife. When he was forced to go into exile by the invading Danes, he sought refuge in Normandy. His son, who came to be known as Edward the Confessor, was restored to his rights in England in 1042. But as he had spent much of his early life in Normandy as an exile, he had his strong cultural and linguistic ties with Normandy, not to speak of friends and associates. So when he became the King of England, he brought with him a large number of his Norman friends. The result was that, during his rule, the English court looked more French than English, and French became the dominant language in England at the expense of the native English. Edward the Confessor ruled England between 1042 and 1066. As he died childless, Harold, the powerful Earl of the West Saxon earldom, was elected king. But his election was challenged by William, the Duke of Normandy, who was a second cousin to the late king. William invaded England and defeated and killed Harold in what is known as the Battle of Hastings. Then his invading and marauding army went eastward and forced London to surrender. On the Christmas Day in 1066, William, who came to be known as William the Conqueror, became the King of England. Like his predecessor, William, too, favored his Norman friends who had helped him to conquer England. He gradually wiped out the old English nobility and created a new one, which was almost entirely Norman. In the same way, he made Norman priests the most powerful prelates in England. The result was that socially, culturally and linguistically England came under the Norman influence, which was essentially French influence.